on, so it did glide on a Hey guys, welcome back. So I have got one of my favorite videos to do on my channel, a new at the drugstore video, and this is going to be all about some new Maybelline goodies. So I grabbed all of these from Ulta. I ordered them online, so I've been trying them out, so I definitely have some thoughts on them. So I'm just going to run through the different products, show you some swatches on my hand, let you know kind of my experience using them and what do I think about them. So let's get to it. Alrighty, so first off, there is a new foundation, but I believe it's basically just reformulated. I totally guessed way wrong on my color because usually Maybelline foundations tend to run pretty dark on me, so I can usually go with like the lightest couple of shades. So I picked 102 Fair Porcelain, and that's way wrong. It's way too light on me. I can't remember what number it was. I want to say it was, yeah, I picked the lightest, which probably wasn't the best. I guess I should have gone with porcelain. Anyway, so this is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. It is $11.99 on Ulta's website, and it says, be your own professional makeup artist with Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. Saturated color pigments provide an ultra-transforming effect in this long-lasting foundation. The lightweight yet high-impact coverage formula glides onto the skin for a flawless finish that lasts all day. Oil-free, doesn't clog pores, dermatologist tested. Full coverage foundation with a seamless finish, evens out, camouflages, and enhances, minimizes the appearance of flaws and imperfections, glides onto skin for smooth and breathable wear. So, I've tried this foundation a couple of times. I'm not wearing it right now because I don't like it. Just for me and my preferences, I feel very differently about foundations these days. I always go back to my IT Cosmetics CC cream or something that kind of feels like that. So you can see how light this is. Way too light. But if you're really fair complected, just know that there is, you know, a really good option out there. So, and this one again is 102 Fair Porcelain. So what I've noticed about this foundation is when I put it on my skin, it reminds me a lot of the Fenty Beauty foundation, the soft matte something foundation from Fenty. It reminds me a lot of that, in that my experience with it is that it sits on top of my skin and it tends to accentuate everything. So like dry patches, imperfections, unevenness on my skin, just any kind of texture, it really just sticks to it and sits on top of my skin. I've tried it with a brush and a sponge, and even my fingers. Like I tried it with my fingers again today, and I just had to go wash it off. Like I'm not liking my experience with it. And I don't know if it's just my skin type, because I'm kind of at this point more combo normal. Maybe if I were more oily, I don't know. So I would say if you do try this foundation, you probably have to prep your skin super well. That's what I found with the Fenty, is that I have to like mask the night before, I have to exfoliate. My skin has to be in like the best condition possible to wear that foundation. Same with this one. So I really can't even speak to how long it wears, because every time I've tried it, I put it on my skin and I'm like, yikes. I instantly have to either like mix it with something or just take it off. So this is a no for me personally. Next up is something I do really like. This is the Total Temptation Shadow Plus Highlight Palette. Now, I thought there were two different colors of this one particularly, but now I'm not seeing it on Ulta's website, so I don't know. Thought there were two, but maybe there's just this one. But there is also the City Kits All-in-One Eye and Cheek Palette, and that one does have two options. So maybe that's what I was thinking, is that that one has two different options. Kind of a more like neutrally mauve color, and then a kind of more colorful pastel looking palette. So there were two in the City, but maybe there's just one like this. So anyway, the Total Temptation Shadow Plus Highlight Palette, and this was, let me see how much this was. I went ahead and swatched it while I was looking up the price. So it is $11.99, and you get 8 different shadows and then 2 different highlights in there. And it's really kind of neat because there are different kind of sections to the palette. You have your kind of warm tone side over here with sort of golds and peachy, camel-y sort of colors, and then you have kind of more purples and mauve-y, taupey sort of shades on this side. But of course you can totally mix it and do whatever you want But it's really cool that they kind of divided it up for you so that you have the different color tones going on each side of the palette. So I think that's really neat. I love it. It has highlighters and eyeshadows in there. There are mattes and shimmers in here. And I really like this little palette. Like, the first time I used it, I was actually talking out loud. I'm like, oh wow, like these are blending really well. I always know I like makeup if I'm talking out loud, and I was talking about the matte shadows because they were blending well, and I noticed that they wear well. I always wear a primer with them, so that definitely helps, but I didn't notice any major fading with them. I think it's a good little palette. I think it's really fun. Now these glittery shades, this one right here, this kind of taupey glittery shade, I did use this one today, and I do definitely have glittery fallout on my face, and I used it with MAC Fix Plus. So just know that that one does have some fallout with it for sure. This does have some like micro shimmer in it, so if you're not into glittery highlights or like highlights that have little shimmer particles in it, just avoid that one. The gold is less that way. It's really more kind of like a metallic sort of a highlight. So I like this little palette. I think it's fun. I think it's good. I think it's cute. I like the packaging to it. I think it's a pretty good price point. I mean, I would love it if it were lower. I always love cheaper makeup. I mean, well, I would say less expensive makeup because it's not, I don't want cheap. I want good, but less expensive. So I would love if it were less expensive, but I think that's still a pretty fair price for getting highlighters and eyeshadows in the palette. And there are some new eyeliners. This is what the outside packaging looks like. This is what the actual pencil looks like. These are the Lasting Drama Light Liners, and I got the shade White Luster and Moonlight Purple. So let's see what it says about these. They are automatic pencils. It says eye brightening effect, long lasting wear. Let's see what they say on the back. Yes, same thing. It says the liner look, define with light for eye opening impact. Yep, so basically it's supposed to look nice and light and brightening on your eyes. It says light reflecting formula plus smooth application. So again, I got White Luster and Moonlight Purple. Here are the swatches of those. So I do have these on my eyes today. I have the white in my waterline and I have the purple on my lower lash line. So I really like these. They're kind of like a iridescent-y, duochrome-y, metallic-y looking liner. I think they're pretty. I think they have that kind of fairy makeup sort of a look, just very light and brightening. So I do think that they are lightening and brightening on your eyes. I didn't notice that they wore super well in my waterline, but honestly, I very rarely wear liner in my waterline anymore, just because I find that it irritates my eyes and my eyes just get less itchy and my contacts bother me less if I don't wear liner in my waterline. So I'm kind of out of practice with like reviewing waterline eyeliners and knowing kind of how they work in the waterline. So I did notice fading with it, but honestly, I think most liners fade in my waterline from what I can remember. The NARS Larger Than Life, those last really well. And the Marc Jacobs gel eyeliners, whatever those are called, those wear really well. Anyway, again, I don't really wear them in my waterline much anymore. So I did notice fading with that, but on my under eyes, they wore well. And I really do like the color of them. I think they're just fun and lightening and brightening, and I do think that they do what they're saying that they do. I wouldn't call them waterproof. It does say on the side waterproof. Wouldn't necessarily say that, but I would say long wearing. Then I grabbed one of the new highlighters. These are the Face Studio Master Holographic Prismatic Highlighters. So there is number 50, and then I got the shade number 100, which is, I think it has a name. Does it have a name? Nope, it just says color 100 and then online only. So I don't think it's called online only. I think it's just 100. Yep, 100. This is such a pain in the booty to open. Oh my goodness. Like at first I thought, do I still have the sticker on it? Like, there it goes. I'm like, what is going on? I can't get into this thing. So it's kind of hard to get into. Pretty packaging though, like it looks really pretty. I just wish it like had a little, you know, button to like get your finger under to be able to pop the thing open. But anyway, that's, you know, a little side note. So it's a really pretty kind of holographic looking highlighter. So the number 50 looks like it would be kind of more of a pearly, icy, pinky sort of color if I were to guess just by looking online. But I wanted the one that was, you know, maybe like Since I was ordering online, I went ahead and got the one that was online only because I can always grab the other one in store. So this one's kind of like a purpley pink sort of a shade. This is pretty. I do think it's really, really pretty. It is more of kind of, I would describe this more as like a holographic highlighter topper than like a full-on highlighter. There's not, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's not a ton of pigment behind it. It's really more kind of a shimmery holographic topper versus like a really super pigmented opaque highlighter, which is all about preference. If that's what you're looking for, is something kind of just to top off another highlighter that you already have to kind of make it look more holographic and a little bit fairy and shimmery looking, then you'll probably really love this. But if you're looking for that intense pigment underneath it, this may not be what you're looking for. I think you'd be kind of disappointed in it because it is sort of that shimmery topper. I do like it. I mean, like I've said before, I like makeup for all different reasons. I like playing with makeup, so I would just have to kind of know what I'm getting with this product. Like I would probably use something else underneath it and then this on top of it because I do like that more intense opaque highlighter most days, not every day. Sometimes I'd want kind of a lighter makeup look, but most days I'll probably wear something under this, but it is still really pretty. So what I have on today is I have the pinky purpley highlighter from that, what's this one called? From the Total Temptation palette, and then I have this over the top of it. So that did give it a little bit more of a opaque look. So yeah, I think it's fun. I always get excited about more creative highlighters in the drugstore. And lastly, there are some new lipsticks. So I was wearing a combination of two different colors that I have here, but I went ahead and switched to the first color that I'm gonna show you. So I'm wearing just one of them right now. So these are the Color Sensational Powder Matte Lipsticks. And on Ulta's website, they are $7.49, and it says, "Dare to be edgy in Maybelline's Extreme Matte Color Sensational Powder Matte Lipstick. Now available with up to 2 times more mattifying powders than the Color Sensational Creamy Matte Lipstick in a collection of show-stopping colors. Pure matte lipstick, 2 times more mattifying powders versus Color Sensational Creamy Matte Lipstick glides onto lips for an effortlessly cool and edgy look, available in a range of daring shades." So there are, I believe, I thought there were 5 different shades, but it's only showing 4 now. I thought there were 5. Maybe there are only 4. When I was looking at this the other day, yeah, it says shop 5 colors, but when I'm clicking on it, I'm only seeing 4. So maybe one sold out. I'm not really sure. So there is a pink and a red, and I think there was like a green, maybe a green, I don't know. Anyway, there are 5 different colors is what it's saying, but I can't see what all 5 there are. But I got 3 of them. Long story short, too late, I got 3. So the first one I got is 704 Carnal Brown. So that is the one that I'm wearing right now. So Carnal Brown is this kind of, it is very edgy, so it's definitely delivering on that. It's that kind of, you know, daring, different sort of a color. It's kind of a cementy sort of a brown. It's not full on gray. It is still a brown, but it's that kind of cement sort of a brown color. I think it's fun. I like the color. Okay, as far as the formula on these, I like a matte lipstick, but these are very, very matte. They are intensely matte, like to the point where it's kind of hard to get it on your lips, and they kind of drag because they're so matte. I don't mind them once I get them on my lips because they kind of like meld into your lips. I just find it's a little bit difficult to get even application and to actually like get them on my lips because they're so matte. It's kind of to the point of like MAC Ruby Woo. Like it's that level of a matte lipstick. So I prefer the creamy mattes. I don't hate these, but I prefer the other ones. I think those are kind of a really nice, comfortable matte. I think it's that kind of like happy balance. It's not a cream, so it's not gonna go everywhere, but it's not a super duper matte where it's hard to apply and somewhat drying. Those are kind of right in the middle. This is moving towards very powdery and hard to apply and kind of drying. So this is the first color. This one's a really fun color. This is 705 Concrete Jungle. And this one is kind of like a purpley gray sort of a color. And it is creamier than this first one, so it did glide on a little bit better than this one, but it does still drag more than the creamy matte. So it's not as creamy as the creamy mattes, but it's definitely better than this first one. So it might depend on the color, but I like the color of this one. But again, I prefer the creamy mattes. You know, I do think there is going to be a small group of people that are going to like these. They're going to like the color range, they're going to like the formula, but I do think Maybelline made a good decision to kind of keep this a smaller group of colors, because I feel like some people are going to really love them and be looking for that, be looking for something edgy, be looking for something super matte, but I think more people are going to probably like the creamy mattes. So I think it's a better idea that that has a larger range of colors. So yeah, there is 705 Concrete Jungle. Now I think this is definitely the color that I will get the most use out of. This is 698 Cruel Ruby. Now when I wear a red lip, I don't want it to move. So I love a matte red lipstick. Like, just, that's my favorite way to wear a red, is a matte lipstick. So this is totally that. Like, it did glide on fairly easily, more like this one, less like this one, but again, not as easily as the creamy mattes. But this doesn't feel like it's gonna go anywhere. Does it feel hydrating? No, for sure not. But does it feel like overly uncomfortable and drying? No, I would say it's moving more towards like a liquid lipstick feel on the lips, but not quite to that level. Of course, I've taken off several, so my lips are feeling more dry at this point, but I'm gonna wear this one. I really like this one. So I would say if you like a red, then maybe try that, because it's a safer way to wear a red, because this seems like it's gonna be there and it's not gonna move everywhere. Alrighty guys, so those are all the new goodies that I have to show you. So a quick wrap up. I would say my overall favorite is this little palette, which I'm really surprised about. I thought I would possibly like it, but I didn't think it would be my favorite thing. But I do really like that. I do really like the red lipstick. I think I'll get use out of that. I think the eyeliners are good. I think they're fun. I think they have a nice brightening effect. I think this is fun as a topper. That's how I'll use it, but not a fan of the foundation. This is definitely the biggest fail for me personally in the group. So that's my overall little wrap up of some new Maybelline products. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. Hope it was helpful for you. Please hit a thumbs up if it was. If you tried out any of these products, let us know down below what you think about them. What has been your experience using them? I would love to know that. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!